This is a follow-up story we are thrilled to share with you. But before the big reveal, we've got some difficult statistics that give context to this story. Look at this. Only 3 to 4% of former foster youth obtain a 4-year college degree. That's according to the National Foster Youth Institute. Now, we first met Michael Kelly a few years ago. He was a young student bucking that trend. He had not only graduated from college, but he had started medical school. Now, to that update. This is a simulation. The patient isn't real, but the man working on him has a very real story to tell. It started in Duluth, Minnesota, where a worried court-assigned worker intervened.
Found out I was living in a cold garage and eating out of a shoebox, and said that's not what life's supposed to be. We're gonna put you in the foster care system. Eventually, at 17 and a half, I moved out of that foster home and became homeless, and just transient couch surfer.
Amidst the rockiness, he'd always found stability in school. He got a scholarship to St. John's University.
And all throughout college, I always had to find opportunities during spring breaks or winter breaks for places to stay. I didn't have a place, I didn't have a bedroom, I didn't have a bed, I didn't have, the next day necessarily wasn't planned out for me. It just was surviving.
Against all odds, Michael got into medical school at the University of Minnesota. And then things got rocky once more.
I actually failed my first medical school test, and I was devastated. By one point, I got 69% and needed 70 to pass it. I was like, that's it, I'm done.
You weren't used to that.
No, not at all.
He didn't just adjust, he thrived, helping launch a mentorship organization to support first-generation students.
I feel like I'm finally in a position where I can give back. It took a lot of support from my village, but I'm finally at a place where I can take that investment and start giving it back to the community.
Have you had any moments where you stood back and kind of got emotional?
Getting to Mayo was something that just blew my mind. An extremely emotional time for me.
A surprise that was recently revealed on residency match day.
There was lots of trials and tribulations along the way. But focusing back in on the why got me to where I am today, and I'm going to Mayo in 2 months, be a doctor.
Here we are.
I know.
But first, graduation.
Michael Robert Kelly.
Michael walked, and the people who walked beside him cheered, including his wife, who he met in college, and her proud family.
He's just such a good person through and through, and it comes out in everything that he does.
His oldest friend was there too.
And he used to say when we were kids that he was going to be a doctor, and we would chuckle about it, and he did it. He did it.
Yes, he did. What do you want to be said about you as a doctor?
I think at the end of the day, I just want my patients to feel heard, valued, and loved.
So after years of living in discomfort, this doctor is devoted to truly making others feel good. Now, Michael chose family medicine, and he wants to practice in a rural area. He says what he loves about that is you can serve patients of all ages, starting at birth, and you can have those long-term relationships. Now, Michael's story got us wanting to have a broader conversation this morning about foster care in Minnesota. So I am joined by an expert of sorts right here. This is Samantha Van Bogart, the Director of Social Work with Children's Home and Lutheran Services of Minnesota. Thank you so much for being with us this morning and talking about this. I know you guys give a lot of support to the foster care system. And just what's the big banner here? Is there a need?
Yes, so there's still a huge need in the state of Minnesota, and actually this last year that number was about 10,000 children still in the foster care system, still needing support.
So you need families to step up here.
We still need a lot of families, yeah. And you know, actually, the majority of kiddos who enter into the foster care system, they end up being cared for by a relative or other family member. Mm-hmm. But in that time frame that it takes to identify that person and help them become available legally for foster care, we need people to step in and support while we're waiting for that placement to happen.
And is it true in the end you want reuniting if it's safe?
Yeah. So the ultimate goal is that we do always sort of want reunification, but that isn't always possible. And so there is still this huge need for foster families of all kind for all age groups, but primarily ages 12 to 18 and siblings, actually.
And sibling groups,
Yes.
because you want to keep them together, give that stability.
Yes.
Okay, so something else that comes up in this conversation is I've heard multiple people say, oh, I might be interested in fostering, but I don't want to get attached and then have to let go.
Yeah.
You must hear that a lot.
We do hear that a lot. And you know what? The way that foster care is able to be practiced has changed so much over time. So it's a little bit pick your own adventure. There is both short-term and longer-term foster care options for all sorts of different people and situations. For folks who are feeling like, you know, I have the heart and the home and I would love to support children, but I'm scared of that attachment piece, there are short-term foster care options that would be wonderful for them. Maybe they just help over the weekend or in emergency situations only.
So this can be a matter of days you're providing a home or years.
Yes. Yep.
So it goes the whole range. Okay, so for people out there who are thinking, I'm interested, does it matter my age? Does it matter my housing? What are just some basics?
Doesn't matter at all. Foster care is for anybody. I say to people, if you have room in your heart and your home, and if you have a desire to help children, you would be a great foster parent.
It's really that direct.
Yes.
Okay, and I know you want people to really be educated on it as
Yes,
well. And you guys
absolutely.
have tons of resources, classes.
Yes.
All that going on, right?
Yeah, so I would say go to our website, chlss.org. You're immediately going to see a bunch of information, but on our website there's that education tab. And if you go to that education tab, you'll be able to see right away some free classes that we offer, and you can get some more information on what foster care looks like and see if it's the right fit for you.
Thank you so much for telling us about this. And I think just seeing Michael's story is an example of the
Absolutely.
amazing children who are in this system and what can come with the right, as he said, village.
Agreed
around
completely.
him.
I think the most important thing to remember about foster care is it can be such a rewarding journey.
I love it. Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Well, we want to give that website one more time. For more information, visit chlss.org. Thank you so much for what you do.
Yes.
We appreciate you.